Hey everyone, DC NBA Junkie here. Just wanted to make the message that I haven't posted in a while, and I'm going to take a more of a podcast approach with this video, and probably with a couple of videos moving forward. So sit back, and I hope you enjoy. Subscribe if you feel like it. So, Bam Adebayo just signed his 5-year, $163 million extension with the Miami Heat. This video will be up on, I believe, Wednesday, but it's been recorded on Tuesday. But in terms of this move, Miami Heat fans and the NBA world in general all kind of thought that the Heat were going to look to wait on this move and not make a sudden decision to re-sign Bam Adebayo as of right now, because of simply just trying to keep their cap space open for the 2021 NBA free agency. I know that's been a big priority of the Miami Heat, and for many teams. We've seen the Dallas Mavericks kind of not doing too much in terms of free agency. They've actually gotten rid of some guaranteed contracts, making the trade with Seth Curry to get Josh Richardson, and they've just been able to free some cap with DeLon Wright, just bringing in contracts that are going to be able to lower their cap for the 2021 NBA offseason. We've also seen the Toronto Raptors. They just re-signed Fred VanVleet to a 4-year, $85 million extension, which was, I believe, a little less than I thought he was going to get. But in terms of that, they've made some moves, and they've made some short-term contracts to the point where I think that they're not going to be in a too bad of a position to potentially have cap space for Giannis next season. That's kind of the idea. It's all about, right now, Giannis, because if he goes into free agency and he does not take that max extension right now, or anytime until next offseason and he doesn't take it then he's potentially the greatest free agent of all time. And because of this, teams are going out of their way to free any cap, like I said, with those teams that I've mentioned, to try to get Giannis, essentially. And so for this Miami Heat team, I just kind of want to focus on Bam here. This season, he averaged 15.9 points per game. He got 10.2 rebounds and 5.1 assists. John Calipari of Kentucky, where Bam Adebayo played for college as a one-and-done athlete, he talked about how Bam is a very versatile player, something we really haven't seen in the center really ever, except I would say Jokic. But we've seen Jokic not be as in shape as Adebayo, I would like to say, and he's actually had to play himself into shape, or into his NBA form throughout the past couple seasons. We've seen that. So for Bam, it's just like I said, he has been one of the more transcendent centers in the league who can do more of everything. He's more fit for the modern NBA. He hasn't really developed that three-point shot like many have expected him to, or not more of expected, but he hasn't really developed that three-point shot like a modern NBA center or a stretch five. But at the end of the day, for Bam, I just think it's important that his game is just super important for Miami Heat, and centered around that team, you've got guys like Jimmy Butler, who had a phenomenal playoffs, by the way. You got Goran Dragic. Just Bam is that perfect center that couples everything together. He brings the fire. He plays really good inside the paint. We've seen him be a pretty average defender. There's times where he's definitely loose of that. He got that big-time block against Jason Tatum in the Eastern Conference Finals, which is definitely something to make notice of in the Game 1. It was a heck of a play by him. But he also has some great pick-and-roll opportunities. We've seen it well with Goran Dragic. He's been very good in the pick-and-roll with him. With Jimmy Butler, he's been pretty effective in the pick-and-roll. Even with Tyler Hero, we saw more in the playoffs. Kendrick Nunn during the season. We've seen him be a really good pick-and-roll center, also a center who could just get his positioning, just everything you want in an NBA center. And so Miami felt it was right to max him, which I think he was worth. And for one season, it's obviously like a risk decision, but it's not really, because we've seen already at age 22 what he can become, and I just think that the sky's the limit for this guy. So in terms of Bam Adebayo, I think this was a really good move for them. We'll get into this Giannis situation and his free agency in general, but yeah, I really like this move for Bam Adebayo. In terms of their chances next season, heck, they have one of the greatest playoff runs for an NBA team in recent memory. They were the 5 seed, I believe, and they had one of the greater playoff runs. They got to the NBA Finals, took the Lakers to 6. It's arguably maybe even a 7-game series or a different outcome if they didn't have those injuries throughout the NBA Finals, which was very unfortunate. But in terms of next year, I think that they have good chances. I mean, we already saw what they become already, but we have to make notice that the Eastern Conference is getting more stacked, and it's becoming better than it has in the past couple of seasons, and even just in the 2010s in general. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets are going to have Kyrie and Kevin Durant, assuming that they're healthy and ready to go. We got the Boston Celtics, who did lose Gordon Hayward, and we'll get into that in another video. You got Toronto Raptors, who just signed Fred VanVleet. You got the Bucks still in contention, trading for Drew Holiday. You just got a lot of teams there that are still pretty solid. You got the Philadelphia 76ers with Daryl Morey as their GM, or president of basketball operations, doing a really good job over there with their moves. So I think that they have fair chances. We already saw what they could do with the 5 seed. I think it's more about what they're going to be able to do in the future. They still got Tyler Hero evolving, which is something that we got to make a notice of. Kendrick Nunn, I don't necessarily know where he fits in the future because we didn't see him prioritized in that playoff run, even though he played most of the season. I mean, he made himself a Rookie of the Year candidate. But Kendrick Nunn did not see a lot of playoff roles, especially since Goran Dragic took his position from the 6th man and became the starting point guard when Kendrick Nunn couldn't play for that temporary time. But yeah, I think they have solid chances, and like I said, I think it's more focusing towards the 2021 free agency, what can amass from that. And in terms of that free agency, that's like another thing with this Bam extension. The biggest thing to think about now is now they don't have that cap space that they had with not extending Bam. Now they have to, if they're looking to get Giannis or have the cap space for it, the way they're going to have to do is they're just going to have to free up some salary, which I think they did a good job with their signings this year. Myers Leonard got a 2-year, $20 million, but he has a team option the second year. Goran Dragic got a team option on the second year. I don't know if Avery Bradley got a team option on that second year, but they've made a lot of contract decisions right now that are working to free up some cap space in that 2021 NBA free agency. Even with Bam's extension, it just doesn't leave you a lot of room to re-sign other guys. So this Bam, I know that Bam and Giannis have the same agent, and I think that's it was a little interesting. I think we all knew that there was a little tension between Bam Adebayo and his crew and the Heat, and if they were going to come to an agreement there, because I know and we know that Bam, the Heat culture, it's there, and Bam really is a part of it. But the issue is with it is if they weren't willing to give him the extension now, which he proved that he's worthy of it, or he proved that he's worth an extension, for a max extension, that is. Not guaranteeing him the extension could have left some issues there, feelings from the franchise that they didn't want him to be there, or they were looking other directions, especially towards some of the bigger free agents of next offseason. So I think doing this, it makes Bam Adebayo happy. It definitely makes Heat fans happy that knowing that you got your all-star center on the team for the next 6 years, essentially, counting this year, on his final year on the rookie contract. But obviously, if they're going to want to bring Giannis in, which I don't know if that's the full priority of them, but I wouldn't think why not, because he's one of the best. He's probably arguably the best player in the league right now. Factoring that in, and just factoring in all the other things with Bam's contract and the Miami Heat's kind of limited cap opportunities now for next free agency. But I do think that they're in the right direction, and they even got the like I said, they have Tyler Hero, they have some rookies, they have Duncan Robinson, they have some really nice pieces, and I think that they're going to be good moving forward. And I like this Bam extension. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's just Bam got extended. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you, and peace.